Hello and welcome to Banking Frontiers Live. And we are here for a great customer experience conversation. This experiential conversation is with a leader from the world of general insurance, one of the largest private sector general insurance company, and with me, a leader in customer experience from Bajaj Allianz General Insurance Company. His name is Ankit Goenka. Ankit, welcome to Banking Frontiers.
My pleasure, Mr. Babu. It's always been a pleasure interacting with you. Looking forward for this discussion as well.
Thank you, Ankit. So, we thought of doing this conversation around the customer experience and the experiential journey in the world of
Yeah,
general insurance. And we have seen it evolve. Okay. I have seen Bajaj Allianz speak from illness to wellness kind of concept. And I have seen a lot of evolution with the help of AI, Gen AI, and various other technologies happening in the insurance phase. How do
right.
you see this evolution of the customer experience journey from what it was in the pre-COVID days to
Yeah,
today? And where are we heading towards?
that's a great question, Mr. Nair, because it actually gives the whole perspective to the entire GI industry and the point that you made regarding pre-COVID and COVID, because definitely that's a two different eras, if you really want to call. While the difference is hardly few months, but it's absolutely two different worlds that we're talking about. Right. So when we talk about pre-COVID, okay, general insurance was a place where either you will take because of regulatory, for example, a motor insurance, right? You can't drive a motor vehicle in India if you don't have an insurance, right? So you'll buy that, right? You don't have a choice, right? When it comes to health insurance, there were people who will say that I'm absolutely fit, right? Why should I buy a health insurance or look at a health insurance without really realizing that you may require it henceforth, right? But here comes COVID, right, which really taught each one of us that this piece is very very critical. So that kind of stuff gave some kicker to the entire insurance industry, I would say, right? But again, I'm seeing it slowly going back to that old era, right? People are still kind of not really worrying about renewing their insurance policies, right? Saying that okay, COVID has already happened. What bad can happen now, right? The other spectrum of the overall experience, if you really look at pre-COVID, from a technology standpoint here, especially the AI, okay, people were not really looking at it. The simplest solutions of AI in India has been the chatbots. An example, call center was shut down overnight. We were not having any call center running because all the BCPs were also shut down, right? So there, the only savior was these chatbots, right? For example, for us also, right, we actually shut down one of the centers post COVID, right? Because we said that it's actually not required because one out of every three customers of ours, started using the bots, right? And when your customers are adopting it, that yes, things are working fine, right? And I would give credit to COVID to that because COVID actually pushed each of us to actually learn about those technologies much better. And then, the adoption obviously had to happen, right? So that was, one major shift which happened from a technology standpoint. And of course, the entire hybrid working, looking at things, from a different lens. Practically speaking, from a customer standpoint, as I said, the delivery, becomes essential and you are much faster in delivering things to your customer. You talked about that, when we look at Bajaj Allianz Insurance, right? Now, pre-COVID, we decided to change our tagline to caringly yours. For an insurance company, trust is the biggest issue. Our job is to pay claims, but the myth is that insurance companies do not pay claims,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm,
Now, to tackle that piece, we said the biggest open element here is the care.
mm,
Because if you can show care to your customers, the
mm.
trust will automatically come in
Correct.
and you will be able to solve that. And that's the journey we started pre COVID, where we first changed. our tagline to caringly yours. And that was the cultural shift, the DNA shift in the entire organization, including our partners. We said that we need to embark on this journey, and as we go ahead, the customer should be able to, relate to it. Now today, when I look at, the regulatory grievances that we have,
Mm-hmm.
Bajaj Allianz General Insurance has the least grievances across all the major players. Now that's a testimony of things that yes, that care is working somewhere, right?
Absolutely.
There is a third party survey that we get it done without giving any data to a marketing agency who runs the net promoter score for us at a
Mm-hmm.
relationship level.
Mm-hmm.
Now, two of our major lines, which is motor and health, it shows that we are the highest NPS amongst again all the leading players. A combination of highest NPS and the lowest grievance, gives us that confidence that yes, we are on the right track.
How do
It's
you
a journey
measure
that
this NPS and CX kind of stuff?
NPS is a simple question that you ask your customer that how likely are you to recommend this particular brand to your family or friends, and then
Mm-hmm.
you rate as a customer from 1 to 10. So
Mm-hmm.
anybody who's rating 9 or 10 is a promoter.
Mm-hmm.
Anybody giving you 1 to 6 is a detractor. 7 to
Mm-hmm.
8 is passive. Now,
Okay.
when you subtract the promoter from the detractor,
Mm-hmm.
the result is your net promoter score.
Okay. Interesting.
So
Interesting.
we run this across 8 major cities, as I said, across 2 major lines of our business and
Mm-hmm.
7 other competitors, which is a combination of public insurers, private insurers, small insurers, big insurers. It's a combination of all, right? So look at holistically, right? And then we don't give any data to this marketing agency, right?
They
They
go
go in
on
the
there.
market, yeah, they scout for customers across the various brands, right? And all these are recorded and audited, and then comes the score.
And how about measuring CX?
See, CX, as I said, from a overall customer experience standpoint, these two are our critical matrices because one is basically giving the relationship value, right, from a net promoter score standpoint, and the other is actually saying at a ground level, the process systems and people are kind of working if you have the lowest grievances, right? And these are public disclosures, right, from all the insurance companies,
Mm-hmm.
right? So this is again the auditable data, right? So it's not about somebody just making this data. This data gets audited by the regulator and everything, right? So
Mm-hmm.
a combination of these two actually gives us an index that yes, from an overall experience standpoint, the track is right. And then of
Super.
course, when you kind of look at go deep into the net promoter score and the grievances
Mm-hmm.
on the ACPT part of it, which is the agent customer process or technology, where it actually is failing,
Mm-hmm.
then you kind of come up with those action items,
Mm-hmm.
to enhance that experience. And in our company, we call it each one fix one, right? So each of these, items which come out of these customer VOCs,
Mm-hmm.
right? Then we align it to the department head who's responsible for that particular, failure. And we say each one fix one, which is each one of us has to at least fix one. And
Oh,
as we embark on this journey, right, we'll be able to fix issues for our customers.
that's very
Yeah.
good learning. And from
Yeah.
your care initiatives that you have spoken to me, what has been some of the remarkable launches in the last few months? I definitely read about Privy and the chatbot, and
Yeah.
I think you have done some wonderful work with the chatbot side. Of course, there is a lot when you speak about chatbot because many a time people find chatbots as dumb. So, how do you actually handle this situation, and what are some of those care initiatives that has really worked for you?
And I'll talk about three. You spoke about two. I'll also add one more. First, let me talk about the chatbots or the bots. Okay. Now, just to give you one example, farmers of India. If I were to, talk that, the farmers of India would love to interact with a bot.
Mm-hmm.
Not many of people would agree with me,
Mm-hmm.
right? But actually, it happened,
Mm-hmm.
right? When we went ahead and enabled, the bot both on the chat side as well as the conversational AI part,
Mm.
right? Where actually, a robot is talking, right, and conversing with the farmer. 93% of our farmers are actually happy using them end to end. It's only 7% where the bot is failing because technology will fail,
Mm-hmm.
right? Or the bot is not trained to handle that situation at that point in time. Those
Mm,
are coming to the human.
mm,
Rest everything, technology end to end is being handled. So, right, you
mm,
said yes, chatbots, people say dumb. They are dumb, and it
mm,
has to be dumb, frankly
mm.
speaking, right?
Correct.
You don't
Correct.
have to really, invent too much on that,
Mm,
right? Just be absolutely clear on the final objective that you want to achieve,
mm,
right? And the simplest way to do that is all your repetitive nature of
mm,
issues or queries,
mm,
let it be with the bot. Rest, you need human,
mm,
right? For example, somebody has a grievance.
mm,
You need to get the human in.
mm.
You need somebody whom the customer can talk and voice out the exact thing.
So how do you decide when human takes over from the bot?
It's a very seamless thing. And as I said, there are certain repetitive nature issues that we have configured on the bot,
Mm-hmm.
right? Right.
Mm-hmm.
Others, it's a very seamless shift from the bot to the human who's
Mm-hmm.
waiting to take over this particular call
Mm-hmm.
in case of a conversational AI bot, and a
Mm-hmm.
live chat agent in case of a chatbot. So it's
Mm-hmm.
again 24/7. We ensure that there is a human at the back.
Mm-hmm.
Whenever the bot is failing or it's not trained by design to handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So
Great.
that's a very seamless shift that we do, right? And we don't let
Mm-hmm.
the customer kind of wait or ask for it.
Interesting. And what about the other innovations that you have
The
introduced?
one is Privy. Okay. Now, Privy is one of the experiments that we have started. Not nobody has done that in general insurance. It's
Mm-hmm.
about the real segmentation and loyalty.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So Privy is the you can call it the ultra HNI or the customers who are actually giving us a lot of business, who are there with us, loyal with us for so many years. So they obviously internally we have created some algorithm, some program which is stamping the customers, right? There are certain products, which are considered as premier products. For example, a global healthcare. You can purchase wherein you can get your, treatment done across the world. Your planned treatments, is allowed to be done, outside India as well. Erstwhile, if you look at only the travel insurance, in case of an emergency, you kind of get admitted to a hospital, let's say in US, right, which is
Correct.
allowed. But if you have a health insurance of India, that's not available to
That
you in US. But with this global healthcare, it is available, right? So that's a very high-end product, right? And similarly, on a motor, we have a VCare, which is a no question asked motor product. So similar, there are some other lines as well. There are something on property insurance as well on this. So a combination of these products and the customer loyalty is the previous segment, right? Where we
interesting.
said that these customers will get a green carpet kind of treatment, right? No
Interesting.
question asked things, and we'll go one step, one notch above, and then help. There is a separate Privek Connect team, taking care of these customers,
Interesting. In fact,
right?
even if you have an Indian insurance, if you come to a foreign country, you face a lot of difficulty in getting your claims done because I have experienced it personally, okay, with a lot of friends. So come with the travel insurance of India, get hospitalized somewhere in Canada, and you go bankrupt. Okay. So, and it takes time and lot of legal
Yeah.
and follow-ups to get back your claims.
Absolutely. So
So
this
if
team
this,
basically takes care of Privek Connect as well. This team takes care of end-to-end stuff, where the
Mhm.
customer doesn't have to worry anything about it. Obviously, it's a bad situation to be in if you are getting, admitted in hospital, outside India. It's not a good
Mm.
situation to be in, right? But at the
Absolutely.
same time, when you get your treatment done, the other administrative work is what, this team will take care and make sure that the seamless experience is delivered. Yeah.
Super.
Linked to this only, there is a Care Angel initiative that I would like to talk about. It's
Mm-hmm.
not a technology enabled, thing. It's more of human. Now, typically, we say that in a health insurance, right, the stated need of a customer is that if I'm admitted in a hospital, please make sure that my claim is processed seamlessly and you pay. Right, that's the stated need of every customer, right, from a health insurance standpoint. But when we look at this journey and we look at the experience that we can give, actually the experience is not given to the customer who's the patient in most
Mm.
of the cases. It is the attendant who's facing the brunt of this entire episode or incident. So can we create some experience for that attendant where this we say that there is a physical care angel in major hospitals across India,
Mm-hmm.
right? And if you get admitted in that hospital for a cashless treatment, this care angel gets triggered there and then. The care angel meets the attendant and says that, hey, you take care of the patient and I'll take care of
Yeah,
everything else.
paperwork.
Not only paperwork, everything else,
Superb.
right? For example, I'll not name any hospital, but there would be hospitals where, from a IPD to OPD to get a CT scan done,
Mm-hmm.
it's a nightmare,
Absolutely.
right? Now, this care angel takes care of that as well.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'll share one, incident. I was there in one of the hospitals in Bombay, to, do my visits, and I met this patient, and we had a care angel there in that hospital. Now when I went into the room of that, patient, the surgery was already done, and this guy actually came from Bihar to Bombay, to get the treatment done.
Mm-hmm.
But I couldn't see any attendant.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just curious to know that, sir, you have come alone to get this treatment done. So he told, no, I've come with my younger brother. Okay, actually, because your care angel was there with me, I told him that you go and, you know, do a sightseeing in Mumbai,
Wow.
right? So by listening to this gave me that thing that yes, like you also said, wow, this is that experience. You
The
can't
wow.
quantify, right? You can't really quantify this. This is that thing that yes, the care is working, right? And
Superb.
here you win that trust, right? Because that customer is ours now. That customer will never go outside Magic.
Appreciate. I think these
Yeah,
are these are those small human initiatives that make a lot of difference. Now,
absolutely.
just coming to the technology side of it, what kind of technologies? Of course, you have been gung ho about Gen AI and things like that. What kind of technologies you see making a lot more impact into the insurance business in the near future? And of course, when people are bragging so much about Gen AI, it also comes with a lot more reservations because it is subject to a lot more compliance in the near future because people know the privacy of data and kind of stuff. So,
Mhm.
a little glimpse on what technologies you think will make a lot of impact in the near future, where you are looking at. And the second, how are you also trying to ensure yourself against the compliance and technology risks in the future?
Sure. So to your first part of the question, Babu, we have seen AI done wonders already in the insurance sector. For example,
Correct.
claims, right? So analyzing a lot of data and coming up, with the results for approving a claim or not, basis the entire, programming that you have, and the AI is actually helping that. It's actually cutting down the entire turnaround time for the customers, right? At the same time, we are seeing AI helping in fraud detection as well,
Hmm.
right? A simple use case in health insurance is, somebody giving a first bill. Now, using the AI technology, you can easily detect in today's world that yes, this particular bill is not the original bill. You would, wait for the trigger in case there is a trigger, and then, physically go and verify that, with the hospital. But now with the technology, AI, is actually helping a lot in giving those, decisions, on the spot. So
Hmm.
that we have already seen helping the entire insurance industry, not only us.
Correct.
The other piece on technology is entire Gen AI.
Mm-hmm.
Just to share an example, recently we enabled one initiative which is called Insurance Samju. We all know insurance TNCs are not easy.
Correct.
They're really, lengthy if you really want to talk about it, right? And demystifying the entire insurance piece is difficult, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is our step, towards resolving that piece for the customers and the society. And
Mm.
why I say society as well, because when we enable this entire insurance Samjo, this particular portal is not open only for Magic customers.
Okay. It is
Any
fun.
customer who has the insurance policy can come to this portal, upload the policy document, and let the Gen AI help you in simple words, demystifying your entire insurance policy. Obviously, it's a beta version at this point in time because Gen AI, it's a learning phase that you kind of reiterate prompt engineering and all those stuff, right? But
Mm-hmm.
yes, the initial results have been really good, right? And we are seeing a lot many consumers coming and appreciating it, right? So that gives us a lot of confidence, right? So similar to that on Gen AI, a lot of assistance, for example, for call centers,
Mm-hmm.
right? Now, I spoke about chatbots and conversational AI kind of in a way minimizing the need of a call center, right? But whenever a call comes to a call center agent, how can you help that agent help the customer?
Hmm.
Gen AI, I believe, is going to be a great help to that.
Super. Yes.
With the help of Gen AI, you can actually, for example, create a personal assistant to your call center agent,
Correct.
right? Which can help that particular agent help the customer because practically speaking, there is one agent who needs to know all the products, who needs to know all the systems, processes, SLAs, right? It's humanly not possible, right? But with the advent of this entire Gen AI technology, you can actually help that guy now, right? So
Yes.
I'm betting a lot on that.
In fact, there are a lot of technologies which do knowledge management within the organization using Gen AI. This thing
Absolutely. It's
was
the same. It's
talked
just
about.
extending that use case.
Absolutely. This is
Absolutely.
using Gen AI and basically automating that entire thing. The other
Absolutely.
thing that also happens is the customer is very frustrated when he has to listen to 500 menu items in the contact center before he presses 1, 2, 5, and 10.
I'm actually against that, Babu. I'm
Yeah.
actually totally against because if you call our call center, you'll not find too
Hmm.
many options. The only option that you find on our call center is language and the line of business.
Superb. And if the customer can speak out what he wants and your
Absolutely.
robot understands that, I think that is the best possible
And if the
thing
robot doesn't understand, you kind of seamlessly give it to the agent.
the
There also
agent.
Gen AI helps because the Gen AI can summarize that entire piece, speech to text, and then create a summary of it and give it to the agent.
Agent.
So by the time the call is there with the agent already knows the summary what has happened on the automated side of it.
Yeah, because repeating stuff again and again for the customer is a painful task.
Absolutely. I completely agree with you. So that's there. But having said done all this, the part two of your question about the entire compliance. For us, it's black and white. There is no gray area when it comes to compliances,
Hmm.
right? So there is no shortcut. There is no easy thing. If it's hard, you have to follow the hard way, but
Hmm.
not looking at the wrong side of it, right? So that's absolutely clear, right?
Hmm.
And we are obviously keeping a very close watch on this entire framework because we all know that right now this entire Gen AI piece is not regulated, right? So there
Hmm.
are some open stuff or open secrets in a way, right? So we are
Hmm.
keeping a very close watch on that, and depending upon how things will shape up, we'll obviously mold ourselves. But as I said, it's a no-brainer. It's either black or white.
Absolutely. And that is the way it has to be. But what also happens is you already invest into technology and then comes a regulation that, this thing has to change, that thing has to change, and ultimately the entire investment goes into
Those
doldrums.
are the risk mitigants, risk management that you need to obviously take care of, right? And my take there is to help, and that's what we follow is don't follow the technology,
Hmm.
follow the use case. Okay, technology is just an enabler, right? So
Correct.
don't implement Gen AI because in the board meeting somebody said, "What are you doing about Gen
Correct.
AI?" Right? So in our group, it is very clear that you don't innovate for hobby, and when you look at scale, you'll take care of all these things because
Mm-hmm.
shady stuff cannot last. You cannot scale up on shady stuff, right? So that's the basic strategy that we on which we work.
Absolutely. That makes a lot more sense. And you really have to plan your risk, mitigate your risk, but ultimately risk is always there. It is only
It will
a
be there. In any business, any work that you do, risk is there. It's just that you need to be prepared for it. And as I said, if you're going to follow the use case, which is that customer, if you're going to
Mm-hmm.
start with the customer, you'll make sure that you do the right things. Because
Interesting.
at the end of the day, for that technology, customer is only paying you. So it is your responsibility. You are accountable towards that.
Absolutely. And otherwise, it doesn't make sense because ultimately it is the customer who is the priority there.
Absolutely.
There are two aspects of it. One is customer experience, and the other is the internal customer experience. And unless the internal customer experience is better, the external customer will not be better. So, how are you integrating the internal and the external customer together?
See, the first thing is I'm a strong believer that your EX is equal to CX.
Mm-hmm.
Many people must have heard about this, but that's the reality. If you
Mm-hmm.
don't have a happy employee, you will not have a happy customer,
Correct.
right? Because a happy employee only will deliver happiness to the customer, right? By either delivering it directly or indirectly by implementing certain technologies in the right way or doing a particular process in the right way, right? So
Mm-hmm.
that's again a no-brainer, right? Now when we look at the VOE and the VOC, we kind of look at both the pieces very closely and we correlate things.
Mm-hmm.
So for example, we do our employee engagement surveys. Okay? Right now, in case a particular department is coming up with a problem or the scores are low, let's say on technology,
Mm-hmm.
right? The employees of that particular department think that technology is not helping me, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right, and let's say that that department is customer service.
Mm-hmm.
On the other side, when I look at my VOC, see that the customers are waiting, to be getting a resolution, right? So my turnaround times are not good, right? Or my customer satisfaction scores are not good. So my customers are saying that I'm not happy because you're taking time. And my employees are saying I'm unable to service because technology is not helping me.
Mm-hmm.
When we correlate both of this, right, then we come up with those action items that these are the three things that we need to solve, which will actually impact
Mm-hmm.
both the VOE and the VOC. So it's a very integrated thing. You can't look at these things in silos,
Interesting.
right? So
Interesting.
that's how we kind of go with this.
What are the innovations next that you are aiming at?
I won't say innovation, but I would call it as a 3V strategy, Babu, which I kind of say that in the future this is the thing, right, which is 3V, right, where the first V is the voice. When I say voice, there are two elements to voice. One is the voice which I just spoke about, the voice of your employees and your customers.
Mm-hmm.
That's a never ending thing. You have to keep on collecting, analyzing, and taking action. It's a continuous process. It's not never going to end, right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was there, it is there, and it will be there.
Mm-hmm.
The second element of voice is the technology part of that entire conversational AI,
Mm-hmm.
where it could be speech to text or having the conversational AI bots doing the repetitive nature work, right? So I believe that it's going to be there everywhere. The second V is video. Now when we talk about future, we need to understand that our future customers will be the youngsters who are right now there on all the social media platforms. They
Mm-hmm.
are living, breathing, eating social media. Now, when we know that these guys are going to be our customers for tomorrow, and as an organization, you are not having a strategy on having everything on videos, you're going to fail,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because your future customers will be on those platforms. So you need to have a strategy which kind of caters to that. And not only about one journey, you need to be there for all the journeys. And again, Gen AI can help you a lot, in this videos part. The
Interesting.
third V is keeping Bharat in mind, which
Mm-hmm.
is vernacular,
Mm-hmm.
language agnostic. Again, Gen AI. A customer down south, let's say speaking in Malayalam. Today, I need to have on the other side somebody who understands Malayalam and
Correct.
can speak Malayalam, right? With the help of Gen AI, you can actually
I
manage
see.
this piece, right? For both the ends. But again, as a future, if you want to penetrate in Bharat, you need to speak in that language. That's why I
TV.
say this is the 3V strategy for the future. So any
Mm-hmm.
business who's focusing on these 3Vs, from
Mm-hmm.
a delivery standpoint, I guess the future is safe.
I think that was a great conversation. I would like
My
to thank
pleasure.
you for this wonderful conversation.
Thank you, Mr. Babu. Lovely talking to you.